Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous, and someone's still looking extra fabulous, I see.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about today's conversation. I think it's very important to um, and very relevant in today's world. Many people think that to be a leader, we have to fit a specific box, or we need to achieve X amount of things, or look a specific way, or have all this stuff under our belt. And what I love about leadership is that it can happen at any age, right? We can be
Mm-hmm.
leaders in any form, at any age, in any stage in our lives. So I cannot wait to share what you have to offer and how powerful this conversation can be to inspire other people. So without further ado, let us introduce ourselves. Welcome everybody. I'm Adri Kyser, founder and creator of Sacred Movement Studio and Enlightened Alchemy Method. I'm a wellness expert, transformational coach, and energy alchemist, helping men and women transform and change stress, negativity, aches and pains into radiant health, so they can live the life they always wanted, so they can uh, become the change makers, the leaders they are born to be. And I have the pleasure to have here today Dominic. He is fantastic speaker, and I want to say friend. We met when I was a guest in his podcast, and he's such a caring, amazing soul. He's a connector, he's a speaker, he's a host of a podcast. And I want to, further ado, I want to give you the mic.
Woohoo! Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. The magical mic that is not Jackson, indeed. Alrighty. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Alrighty. Magical sharing. Gotta love it. Woo! The two E's to leadership, everybody. The two E's to leadership. Now, before we get deep into it, I'm going to have everybody repeat after me. And if you want to scare the cat, it's A-OK. If you want to scare the other folks in your house, it's A-OK. Well, let's get a quick affirmation going. I feel happy. I
I
feel
feel,
healthy.
I feel healthy.
I feel terrific.
I feel terrific.
Ah, yes, it is. How you feeling, Adrian?
I'm feeling terrific. I'm ready.
Ah, yes, indeed. Ready like Freddy. Yes, indeed. So, moving on to the next magical slide. Goodness, gotta love this thing.
Yes, that's why I said you be in charge of
There we go.
media.
Alrighty. Now, the magical two E's of leadership. Now, leadership is a great subject that's so huge, that's always in demand because everybody likes a person who knows what they're doing. And that's one of the facets of leadership. But if you're in the chat box, feel free to throw up some definitions of what comes to mind when you think of a leader. Feel free to put that in the chat box. Since we don't have the wonderful multi box Zoom thing going on, of anything that may come to mind when you think of a leader. It could even possibly be It could even possibly be someone who gets things done. Could be somebody who has had a positive influence in your life. Somebody knows how to manage time. Think
Somebody
about,
that inspires, somebody that the inspired by action, taking action, or by example. To me, a leader, a powerful leader, is someone that's unique, that's real, that's passionate, that is inspirational, motivational, that is who they are. And when in their private life and public life, there's no two, it's no one way of being in one area and being completely different. So I mean, pretty much a leader is someone that's in alignment with who they are and what they're meant to be in their life, their mission and purpose in life.
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Alignment is freaking wonderful. it really is. Oh, here we go. One who has people skills and high emotional intelligence. That is a great answer. I love it because that's another thing that's a facet of leadership, emotional intelligence. A lot of people don't think about that when it comes to really leadership's it's like maybe it should be IQ, someone who knows what they're doing. Well, you have to know what you're doing with your emotions as well, because we all have them and they're not going away. Some may say I may feel no emotions. That could be the emotion itself, the emotion of emptiness, or it's the lack of.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Well, if there's no other thoughts on that, just going to move on to the next slide here, which has a nice little definition of leadership from my favorite author of all time, John C. Maxwell, where it talks about leadership is not about titles, positions, or flow charts. It is about one life influencing another. And before we hit record, Adri and I, before we officially started this, we were talking about how leadership is bigger than age. It's not about how old or young you are. You can lead from any place or position because it's not about your position. It's not about your title. Funny enough, the leadership is usually seen from other people before they even promote you at your job, or even if you get into the position to where you can connect with wonderful people and advance in your job or your career, or heck, even as an entrepreneur, being connected with other people. So leadership isn't about titles. It's not about positions. And funny enough, the folks with the titles sometimes are not the leaders. Heck, I remember one time in particular that this there's so many stories with this in particular. I'll drop two. So there's one that Max liked to tell about how when he was a young preacher out in the Hillham, Indiana area, he was just got out of preacher school. He got his, I believe, his master's or his bachelor's, and he wanted to lead the church, but he realized that there was this old farmer named Claude who actually was the head honcho of the church. Maxwell, he had the title of pastor, but this farmer named Claude, folks agreed with him because he was like the big man in charge, the big dude in town, and he didn't have any titles. He was just so well respected in his community, well respected with everybody in his church, and he knew what he was talking about. And funny enough, after John went over to another church and he went and talked to the folks there who were still at that church years later, is like, hey, is Claude still running things over there? And one of the younger members was like, yep, he's still running things. So you could have the title, the head CEO title, the pastor title, and not really be in charge. Heck, even one colleague of mine, he's an older gentleman, workhorse guy, works like crazy. He, with my day job at the library at one point, he he would train everybody that came through the building, and he was just a part-time staff member, and he was there for years when it came to processing delivery for the new books that would come in and getting them on the shelf properly, desk training them, being able to handle customers, being able to diffuse customers, because customer service also stems out into life as well, but that's a whole different topic. And he would train everybody, and the folks that are managers at that building today all were trained through him. They still rely on him for his clear thinking and his influence, his positive influence of helping others to realize that, hey, I may have the title here, but true leadership is realizing that everyone else around me has great knowledge and insight that I do not have. And then speaking of insight, let's start off with E number one: execution. Execution. Getting things done, my friends, getting things done. Execution. E number one is execution. One of the biggest things about leadership is when you want to lead folks, or heck, even when you're leading yourself, because from the cradle to the grave, we lead ourselves the longest, is the fact that you're going to have to move. You're going to have to advance. You're going to have to get things done. When you get up in the morning, you have to give yourself, you have to give gratitude to the creator, to the universe, whoever you believe in, for allowing you to wake up. You have to take action. You have to meditate if you have a miracle morning routine. If anyone has a miracle morning routine, you can go ahead and put that in the chat box where you get yourself ready for the day, making sure that you bathe, you shower, you brush your teeth, wash your face, and all that good stuff. If you want to grab a quick bite to eat for breakfast, and then you get out the door. But in COVID, it's like, oh, I guess I'll just roll over, open my phone, or maybe just go over to the second room and try to be an office couch potato and just turn on this computer, say, hey, I'm here. I'm working extremely hard here. And you just have to really take that wonderful action and just think to yourself, what is one thing that I can do today to get myself closer to the goal that I want to reach? Who was one person who was a positive influence in my life who was always known for getting things done? Did they manage their attention properly in a certain way where they needed to actually keep focused? Did they know how to be the ultimate person with the ultimate level of focus? And when it comes to focus, this ego is even deeper because when you get started, there are four types of people who get things done, or heck, even nothing at all. And they are the four types of committed people. And this is from one of my favorite books of all time by John C. Maxwell, The 21 Indisputable Qualities of a Leader. And it's not a sales pitch, just pick up the book. Some of the libraries are still open these days. You can rent it out if you're not scared of disease or whatever, but just pick this book up. It's great stuff. And the reason why I put this under execution is because there are four types of people. The cop outs, the people who have no goals and do not commit. Sometimes we can have paralysis by analysis and we think, oh, we're not going to get anything done here. Like, I'm not sure if I want to do this thing. I'm kind of scared. I'm not sure if this would be the right idea. And then there's some folks who hold out who don't know what they have. Like everyone listening to this and watching this right now has value. There's a buzzword going around, especially in the entrepreneurial space, like, hey, I want to add value to you. I want to add value to your listeners, your audience. How can I add value to you? And sometimes that I really find that horrible because we all have value already. Every single person has value already. You just may need a coach or someone to encourage you and bring that greatness out that you have within yourself. And heck, even the dropouts, those who start towards a goal but quit when the tough get going. Now, there's a positive aspect. There's a positive aspect. There's the Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates. Yeah, they dropped out and they were able to get in the entrepreneur space and do some great things. But there's also some folks who dropped out and did nothing when the going gets tough. Because when the tough gets going, you have to keep going, my friends. And shout out to the special K herself. Yes, indeed, the four types of committed people, indeed. And we do have value already. And this leads to the fourth one, the all outs. People who set goals, commit to them, pay the price to reach them. When you're paying the price to reach your goals, this is going to lead you to the second E of leadership right here. And that is energy, my friends. Energy.
I think it's very important. Can you go back to the previous slide for a moment?
Of
It's very
course I
important.
can.
Thank you. It's very important to understand too, because when it comes to execution, that's the first E to leadership. Execution is taking action, as you mentioned, and even no making a choice, even no taking action is an action, right? Inaction is an action in itself. So when we're talking about committing or trying to become a leader, trying to achieve our goals, as you mentioned, leadership is someone that has influence, someone that can really inspire others to become the best version of themselves. So a leader is not someone that tells somebody else what to do. A leader is someone that inspires that action. So when it comes to execution, when we're talking about the cop outs, the holdouts, there are people out there that want to make a change in their life, yet they're too afraid to do the necessary work to achieve that goal, to do the personal development work, to really go within and ask, what are the fears I have? What are some of the doubts I'm having? Because failure oftentimes is a result of, most of the time, is the doubt and the fear. And it's not the failing itself, it's the fear of the unknown, right? So many dreams don't become materialized, or they don't materialize from the simple fact that many people don't want to, or are afraid of failing, and therefore they don't even try. So people that say, why am I going to commit to that goal, or why am I going to set that goal where there's no point? Or when people think about, well, that person has all the tools that they need and I don't, so therefore I'm not going to achieve my goals. You mentioned Steve Jobs and other people that are very famously, they dropped out of school and achieved tremendous things, but there are also people that have everything handed out to them. They have all the tools available to them and still don't manage to achieve their goals. And that's a deeper sin. It's because it comes back from execution. Is it because of they don't have time? Or is it simply because the place of worthiness, the place of the, do I believe that I have everything I need and that I am worthy of achieving this goal? So in order for us to understand how to highly execute our dreams and goals, we have to also start with a personal development work and ask ourselves, am I worthy and deserving of this? And if I don't think I am, what are the areas I need to heal to recognize that I am worthy and deserving? Because every single one of us have value. Every single one of us are here in today's world for a reason, for a mission. And it's part of our life purpose to share our individual gifts and talents with the world. So when it comes to recognizing or why people drop out of their dreams, drop out of their own lives, why they drop out of their goals, it's not because of lack of resources or lack of time, lack of money. It's oftentimes because they are either married to the narrative of the story and they're avoiding change, or simply because they think they are unworthy and undeserving. So when we recognize that the first step starts with you and be like, okay, if I have, if I don't believe I'm worthy, I'm lovable, etc., what are the things I need to change? What are the things I need to heal in order to commit to my dreams, in order to add value to my life and the life of others? So then once you start seeing the taking small actions towards your self improvement, self development, self mastery, then your goals, your dreams become a reality. And then you become the second E, which is was energy, I believe. Is that the second?
Yes, ma'am.
Energy. So it's important that we invite energy into our life, like by being excited, be like, yes, I'm doing this. And I have a little ritual I'm gonna share with you. It's silly. But let's say when you get a customer, or when you achieve your goals, or when you make X amount of money, or when something good happens to you, you can just kind of do a little dance, just shifting that. And there are days where we feel blue, and you mentioned the pandemic. I mean, there's so many people out there struggling as it is just because they're isolated. So one of the best things to bring positive energy into your life, into everything you're doing, or to shift that stagnant, negative, heavy energy is just by turning up music and dancing, or singing or laughing. Those are great ways to shift energy. And last but not least, gratitude. Gratitude can be a powerful tool to help you improve your life, to help you heal, and to infuse everything with positive energy. And I love the image that you have in there, because this is almost like like, yes, I'm open to receive. I am willing and open and ready to receive all that life has given, is ready to give me.
Oh yeah, that's the beautiful thing about it too. It's like, hey, you just got to absorb the magic of the wonderful sun, especially since now at the time of this recording, we're heading into spring, and spring is coming, and then soon summer will be here, and then it'll be even better. We get to enjoy more outside time, hopefully, especially this year, since things seem to be moving a little closer to something that we would prefer. I'll put it that way, as opposed to new normal, because I'm pretty sure folks are getting sick and tired of hearing new normal when we already know normal ain't coming back. It's just adjustments. But energy, one of the major things about energy that, and the main reason why this is in this presentation in particular, not only because Adri is a master at helping you gain more energy and clarity into your life, it's also because it's required as a leader. Because I remember it was, I can't believe it's been, wow, 5 years ago now, I believe, when I said yes to just about everything. There's nothing wrong with saying yes to opportunities, but you have to also be discerning and make sure you say yes to certain things, and making sure that you can handle them. Because I had a full-time job working 40 hours a week. I was doing Toastmasters, a volunteer leadership organization. I was part of that organization doing some volunteer work. I was basically overseeing 17 clubs out in the northern Maryland area, while being a president of another club in Southern Maryland. And on top of that, my father was stricken with Alzheimer's, and he was at the tail end of his life. So I was caregiving for him as well. And all of that time, we only have 160 hours a week. I'd say a good 80 to 100 of those hours was dedicated to basically taking care of my father, doing my full time employment, also doing the Toastmasters gig, which I wasn't even getting paid for. I was doing volunteer leadership just to build up some darn leadership habs here. And on top of that, at the end of 2016, I published my first book, Going North, and I was starting to promote that and getting on the road with that. So trying to manage all of that, saying yes to too many things, I was crushing myself because I didn't make time for things that would make sure that I would stay at my high energy level. I gained about a good 50 to 60 pounds of weight because I neglected myself. I didn't do self care at all, especially losing my father a few months after the publishing of my first book. And I realized I had to take a step back from certain things and then advance even further in certain areas, which I didn't do at one point because I wasn't doing any workouts. Diet was horrible and I just wasn't getting any sleep. I was lucky if I even got 4 hours of sleep some nights. Sometimes I'd get maybe 0 to 2. And it's all because I neglected self care and my energy was at an all time low. It was at an all time low. And if you want to put out your best work, you got to do the things that will help you to feel at your best. Like wonderful yoga exercise that Adri has. Heck, even one additional activity we can do real quick to add on. So, for those who are listening in, paying attention at the moment, go ahead and put your right hand over your heart. And don't worry, this ain't going to be the Pledge of Allegiance. This ain't that type of party. America's fabulous, by the way. And put your left hand on your abdomen, your lower belly. And then we're going to do three deep breaths. So inhale with your nose, and then exhale with your mouth. Inhale, exhale, and one last time, inhale and exhale. That one activity, so simple that a lot of folks don't do. We breathe unconsciously. But if you add conscious breathing to what you do, you'll get more air within your body, and then you'll be able to move a lot quicker, a lot better. You may feel even younger than what you currently are right now, all because you're not allowing enough oxygen to get into your body. Just like water, we need air. Making sure you add more air into your body, allowing it to expand and allowing you to feel even better and getting that even more to your brain. At least not too much air. You don't want to be an airhead, but that's a whole nother situation. But just making sure that you make sure that you always take care of yourself. Always take care of yourself. And to expand even more, I'm going to tag team it up with my buddy Adri to close us off here because she's got some more fabulous stuff for you.
Thank you. I love the exercise that you did because what people don't realize that we are energetic beings having a human experience. Everything is energy, and everything and like energy attracts like energy. So if we are energy ourselves and we are vibrating a specific level, that resonance is going to attract more alike energy. So if we're in a place of wholeness, if we're in a place of happiness, if we're in a place of gratitude, then we begin to attract people, situations, circumstances, and opportunities that matches that vibration. When we're in a place of anger, sadness, grief, comparison, imbalances, illness, pain, etc., then our vibration gets lower, and then we begin to attract things that match that vibration. So moving in energy is very important because let's talk about the example or the exercise you did. We have 7 major energy centers in our body along the spine, and these energy centers, even though they cannot be seen or touched, they're very real. They are connected to specific body parts, specific hormones, specific organs, and have a correlation with your mental, physical, and emotional aspects of yourself. So when you bring your hand to your heart center and one to your navel center, those two energy centers, one, the navel center, is all about empowerment, confidence, is how we digest information, is how we digest food, is how we feel nurtured, is our sense of sense of being in this world. And then our heart center is a center of love, compassion, kindness, is the seed of the soul. So when you combine the two of them, it reminds you to move from a place of empowerment and confidence, but at the same time, kindness and love. So you are able to be seen in the world as you are, keeping in mind a connection with your soul. So oftentimes when we live in our heads, to just to quote you being an airhead, is when we have a lot of movement in our heads, when a lot of thoughts are happening here. We're moving from a place of being here and not connecting with our heart space. So when we are in our heads, that's when we have stress, when we have insomnia, when we have this comparison syndrome, when we are anger and fear and all this stuff. And then you add that to what's happening in collectives. You watch the news and you see so many negative stuff, and then you tap into that we forget to really check in with our bodies. So it's very important that we have a daily routine and practices, self-care practices, like you mentioned, to help us move that energy that might be stuck. Emotions, okay, let me rewind for a moment. Thoughts are energy, and thoughts that are played in your head multiple times over and over and over, they become beliefs. Your beliefs become your reality. Your beliefs will affect your biology. As you think, you believe. As you believe, you feel. As you feel, you behave. So when your beliefs become or affect your biology, I mean that your beliefs begin to affect how you feel, your emotions. Emotions are molecules that carry informations that affect the functioning of your cells. Right there is a proof that if you're thinking constantly negative thoughts, you begin to develop negative beliefs. Therefore, those negative beliefs get reinforced by negative emotions, and those emotions are going to have an impact in your physical wellness. Hormones like cortisol begins to emphasize. That's why a lot of people have adrenal fatigue or fibromyalgia or other immune disorders or high blood pressure, all these different things, because now your thoughts and your emotions are affecting your wellness. When life gets too busy, the first thing that we put in the back burner is self-care. We have to take care of families and work, and then you deal with health stuff, all these different things that we forget that if we don't take care of ourselves, everything else is going to be compromised as well. You start gaining weight, you're not sleeping, your health begins to deteriorate. Since that projects that you wanted to achieve begins to feel stuck or stagnant, or people, you're not attracting the right type of people anymore. You feel alone. It becomes a circle or a cycle, because the mind, body, and spirit are connected. It's like a triangle, and what affects one will affect the others. So when it comes back to having that energy, it's very important to find ways to circulate and move that stagnant energy. One simple example is gratitude practice. Every morning, start with a journal writing down things that you're grateful for. A meditation practice, it can be as simple as having your cup of tea in front of the window and looking outside, or going out for a walk. My way of moving meditation and self-care is through yoga. It's the easiest way to move energy. It's the easiest way to bring that sense of mindfulness and inner peace. It's the easiest way to develop the spiritual connection, and to really help you clear the layers or pull back the layers that are holding you back. So this is a perfect practice for self-discovery as well, and to begin to pay attention to the quality of thoughts that you're having, that therefore becomes your belief, and that your beliefs become your reality, right? So I would love to hear from people here, and Dom, I want to ask you as well, what are some of your favorite ways to shift energy, to increase energy, and to take care of yourself, so then you can show up as a powerful leader, not in just the community, but a leader in your home, a leader in your friendships and relationships, in your community, in your work, in your business, a global leader that inspires action and inspire others to really move towards the greater and greater good of all, right? Locally and abroad.
Oh yeah, self-care is definitely great. That activity we did earlier, that's the main one I use, even at work, especially when people like to bring their problems to you just to bring them to you because you're a human. And they're like, oh, it's the first human I see. All right, I had a bad day at work, a bad day at home. I owe the library some money. All right, I'm gonna take it out on you, buddy. And it's like, oh, darn. All right, let me decompress for a moment after they're done venting. And then they eventually become a metaphorical friend later because I make a stupid joke later. And that's another thing I do is usually humor. If I'm not making fun of myself or something around me, and that's the other thing about leadership observation, like those who observe are those who will advance, because if you truly observe and take it and you're self-aware of not only yourself but what's around you, you can use that to your advantage. Like sometimes I'll, heck, even funny enough, I got the sticky note right here. Well, Zoom is not going to be fun, not going to be friendly with it, but I have it that says haters make you greater. Haters make you greater, because if you have haters, that's a sign that you're doing something right. Like, hey, if no one, I'm not saying like just seek out haters, just seek to piss people off on purpose for no reason out of ill intent. I'm just talking about if you're doing something positive and then somebody eventually finds your work and they're like, oh my gosh, like what's wrong with this book? It's so spiritual, even though it's listed in the Christian business category on Amazon. It's like just stuff like that. It's like, oh, if you're getting criticism sometimes that's unwarranted, like that's a sign that you're doing something right. So breathing, humor, heck, and sometimes I like to just tell people this just to see their expressions, but to picture a pink golf ball inside of your mind for no reason because it's so random. It's like, why? Why a pink? Why a golf ball? And why is it pink? And I'm like, it's random. And then they actually do it. It's like, oh, all right. And then they're like, what next? It's like, oh, I don't know. I just wanted to see if you would do it or not. And then we just both laugh afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I had to, you mentioned haters and negativity. Anytime people put themselves out there, anytime, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes dreams fail to come to fruition or realization more from fear and self-doubt than failure itself, right? So one of the things that oftentimes people hold themselves back from becoming a leader or from showing up in the world and doing the job or the work that are meant to be or they're being called upon doing is the fear of being judged and criticized and having haters. So I remember, I'm going to paraphrase the quote because I honestly haven't memorized it yet, but it's by Theodore what is his
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, that's it, where he says the credit doesn't go to the critic, the one that points out, the person in the arena that has the dirt, the scars, that's muddy. The credit goes to the doer, the person that shows up every day. So don't give power to the haters. Don't hold back because of what other people will say or think. I can tell you personally from my experience, when I first moved to the US back in 1995, I didn't speak English fluently. I was going to law school. I came to the US supposedly temporarily to become fully bilingual, go home and finish my school degree. But I met my husband, end up staying here. But during that time, I encountered very racist remarks about being an immigrant, having an accent, being a looking the way I am, the way I do. And I became so self-conscious that I didn't speak for months. I became voiceless. And what people don't realize that one of the reasons I wanted to be a lawyer at a very early age is because I wanted to be the voice for the voiceless. I wanted to be for out there fighting for the underdog. I wanted to make things right. I was an underdog. I suffer being bullied. I suffer being told you're not good enough, and then move to the US and get singled out and criticized for the way I speak and look. So becoming voiceless was an irony because I wasn't voiceless. I wanted to be the voice. So for months, I didn't speak until one day I realized that the pain of being judged, criticized, singled out, profiled, um, all these different sins, it was so small in comparison to the pain of not becoming who I was meant to be, of not doing the work I was passionate about. So, for anybody out there holding themselves back out of fear of being judged and criticized, don't pay attention to it. Recognize that you're here for a reason, that you are valued, that people need you, that the work that you're meant to be doing is needed out there. Everybody have an opinion. Opinions are like a belly button. Everybody has one, right? So just train your brain to focus on the good. The thing is, as human beings, our brains are hardwired towards the negative. Let's think about it for a moment. Let's say you have 10 experiences today. 5 are neutral, 4 are positive, and 1 is negative. Chances are that you're going to focus on and obsessed about that negative feedback or negative experience. You're going to think about it all day. You're going to go to bed thinking about it. You may even wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it. You wake up the next morning thinking about it, because our brains are hardwired towards the negative. But the good news is that you can train your brain to focus on the positive through mindful practices, through personal development, through you know, techniques and daily routines and rituals that can help you train your brain to focus on the good. Gratitude practice, breathing, yoga, mindfulness, self-care, having the right type of people. I love working with crystals. I love moving with energy. I'm an energy alchemist. So when I teach yoga classes or when I coach my clients, I use breathing, I use movement as medicine, I use energy work, I use Akashic records, all a whole bunch of different tools that I used to heal myself from chronic pain for over a decade, but I also used to heal myself and become the person I am today. So when it comes to really training your brain to focus on the positive, when it comes to stepping into your power, when it comes to becoming the leader in your community and in your life, in your business and everything else, everything starts within you. So yes, find ways to move that energy and cultivate positive energy in your life. Find ways to take better care of yourself. Find ways to find the right community and support system. Find ways to invest in your health, in your personal growth, in your business, because we can wish and want everything we want, but if we don't take action, if we don't do the execution, or what I like to call inspired action, doesn't matter how much wish and goals we want to have visualized in our head, they're going to stay there. It takes visualization, it takes connection with your heart, soul, and your spirit for guidance, and then it takes inspired action to really create changes in your life.
Yeah, we got some awesome comments in the chat box from our freaking attendees. They are fabulous. Heck, Nerly likes to listen to inspiring and teaching videos and meeting with friends to lift their spirit. Kim is loving the quotes. Haters make you greater, and opinions are like a belly button. I gotta wonder if some of them are innies or outies. And Grilly's my man. Or, oh man, I probably need to drop that one. Let's see here. Guilty of allowing people's judgment to affect me to a point of feeling unworthy until I finally realized that none of those comments defined me. Amen to that. And then I started to feel happy, blessed, and successful. That's the way. That is definitely the way. Like, you can't be letting folks' comments define you. You just can't. Like, just because we know words, that doesn't mean we're a dictionary, right? It's like you can't really be like, okay, like Grillies, I don't like this guy. I'm gonna put mean words next to him. Like, no, you know yourself, you take action, you keep getting better every day, and you decide to make that decision, keep doing it. So solid stuff in the chat box. Solid stuff.
Wonderful. If you guys have any questions or would like additional support from Dominic or I, please post them in the comments. How can people reach you, Dominic?
Oh, yes. I'm so glad I finally got this new fancy background. So dombrightman.com, dombrightman.com indeed. All things Dom are there. Adri's episode launches later this month for Women's History Month because she's extra freaking fabulous. It's like, hey, your name starts with A, so we got to start with the alphabet somewhere. And also, might want to check out some other stuff that Adri has on as well because she is a fabulous author with an awesome app. Heck, I downloaded her app yesterday and it's freaking fabulous. So check that out too.
Oh, I love that. Yes, thank you so much. So, one of the reasons I created this Sacred Movement app and the Sacred Movement Studio is because, you know, I've been doing this for 16 years, and I am grateful that I'm not the same person I was 16 years ago. So as I was evolving through my career and personal growth, my business also was evolving with me. And the Sacred Movement was born from the need to provide tools and practices that were for mind, body, and spirit. So in the Sacred Movement Studio, you're going to find hundreds of yoga, Pilates, and meditation classes and tutorials. But in addition to that, these classes are specifically designed to teach you physical and energetic alignment, to help you have this. As I'm an NLP coach, transformational coach, so I always bring positive psychology and infuse the classes with energy work. So you're getting a yoga teacher, a coach, and energy alchemist all at your fingertips. But in addition to this, it's all about creating a collective or a group where we can meet and really find ways to heal from the inside out, find ways to feel inspired and transformed. So this membership also includes access to like a 3-day meeting detox where I give you the exact menu of what to eat every day for 3 days to cleanse your body, to cleanse your mind, how to find practices or exercises that can be 5 minutes long to 60 minutes long and anything in between for people that never done yoga before or move their bodies, to uh, experts in movement that are seeking ways to really go inwards more. So the Sacred Movement app is free. I always offer a free class of the month. There are mini tutorials and classes there. And the membership, anybody can join for just $1 for 7 days. They get full access. And after that, it's just a small monthly fee. And the yearly fee gives you a huge discount where you get 2 months free as well. So Dominic put the link in the comments, guys. If you're interested, right there is fantastic. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. My website is adrikaiser.com as well. Social media, same thing, Adri Kyser, keeping it simple. And we truly believe that in order for us to be the leaders in our household, in our communities, in our businesses, we have to start within. We have to pay attention to what's happening. One other thing that just kind of came into my mind, I want to mention, when there are haters out there, that right, when sins trigger us, it has nothing to do with the other person. The trigger is simply a signal, a reminder that more healing needs to happen within yourself. So when somebody angers you, when somebody upsets you, when there's a trigger happening, just take a moment and be like, oh, there's more healing to be done. So the more you work on yourself, the better person you become, the better leader you'll become, the better father, wife, husband, daughter, sister, brother, you name it, you become. So everything starts with you, guys. Everything starts and ends with you. So
Woohoo!
thank
There we
you.
go. Thank you, Nerly. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. It figures you know to be where the heat is, where the energy is, live.
Any final thoughts, Dominic, that you want to share?
Final thoughts. I'd have to say one of the most beautiful things about this webinar that you were able to participate in, folks, right now, and folks listen to replays, the fact that this is only the beginning. There's more out there for you, and you can always learn and get better every day. Heck, an affirmation you can say to yourself every day in every way. I'm getting better and better, and take that with you. That's just something you could take with you. Have the mindset that you're getting better every day, no matter what may come, because challenges will come, and that's just your opportunity to grow. It's like, oh yes, it's a growth opportunity. Now, granted, it's going to be hard to do. I'm a human here. I'm still going to have times are gonna be like, oh, I don't know. I'm kind of hate the situation, but hey, just see it as an opportunity to grow and be the best metaphorical tree ever, giving positive shade to people in the summer.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you everybody for joining us again. If you have questions, just let us know. Reach out to us. Dominic put the link in the chat, and it will be in where we display the replay on his end and my end in my YouTube channel. And until next time, please be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.